I compare him to Nelson Mandela, sincerely.
The moment can never be too big for him. His potential is in the sky.
From what you see now, by the time he becomes a senior, I don't want to say I'm afraid to see it, but you're going to see a totally different player from even the kid that you see right now.
This is where my basketball started, basically. I came out here at the age of 11, and now I'm 15, almost 16. It's just hard to describe how time just flies. I was shooting in here, and then I moved back, and they called it a 3. And I moved to half court, and I made a shot, and I was telling my brother, that's 5 points. And he was like, no, it's not 5 points. It's all the same. If you make it anywhere far out there, it's gonna be 3. And I was telling him, like, then why do you call this a 3? Wouldn't that be 5? And he was like, no, it's all the same. This court means so much to me, and I'm always gonna come back like we're here now.
This park in central Tucson is a long way from Juke Dang's war-torn native country of South Sudan. While he lives with his mother and brothers, part of his family stayed back to fight a war dividing a nation.
Last time I talked to my dad was a year ago. My mom talks to him now more than anything. We found him. He's in a safer place now. He's in the camps. Sadly, my grandma, we found out she died. But everybody else we found. I had to hear about my dad leading people to the war because people came around killing people, torturing people, and my dad is a leader, so I'm not really worried. I know he's God first, so my dad's gonna be safe no matter what. I know that.
Majuke's basketball bloodlines run deep. His cousin is NBA All-Star Luol Deng. The two first met in their home country 6 years ago.
The last time I saw him in person was the day before we left South Sudan. That's when he went out there and he was putting the lights out on the streets, letting kids know about such a thing named basketball. So I looked at a lot of his highlights. He actually inspires me. He makes me feel like I could be in his position someday.
While Deng admires his cousin, he patterns his game and passion after two of the NBA's greatest forwards.
Tim Duncan really inspired me a lot, and Kevin Garnett. They love the game of basketball. They really take the game of basketball to the next level. They just love everybody they're playing with. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for their team and their families.
Like his basketball role models, family is a top priority, especially when transitioning to an unfamiliar home 9,000 miles away.
I started process a long time ago. In my situation, it was bad, and my kids, they're hungry, and I don't have anybody take care to me. So the UN take care to me, give me through to the government for U.S., and the U.S. is handle me, so they take care of my kid now.
I didn't think it was true. I didn't think I was coming to the States. And next morning we woke up and a car was waiting in front of the neighborhood and ready to take us to the airport. Well, I actually remember the day I stepped in Tucson. It was very chilly, January 21st. Got out of the airport, walked out. A Somalian dude came to pick us up, and he said, "Hey guys, this is Tucson, Arizona." At first, I don't know what Tucson, Arizona is. I'm just thinking I'm gonna be here for like a week and then fly out again. My mom, my brothers, we just sat around the table. We said a prayer, and I asked her, "Is this gonna be home for us forever?" And she said, "Well, it is now." And all of a sudden, I just started to cry. I'm 11 years old. I don't know what's going on. I'm still, my mindset is still home. And all of a sudden, things just started to change within 6 months.
He was probably in America maybe less than 6 months probably when I met him. I want to say he was probably like a sixth grader, maybe fifth, sixth grade, somewhere in there. Was at the Boys and Girls Club, came to a practice with some family members. One of his kind of cousins had already been playing with me. He wasn't very good to start. Obviously, was kind of longer than everybody else. But just beginning of the game, very big smile, and eager to learn, but just really clumsy and, just not a good player at the time when he came.
Coach Nelson was just very intimidating. He was this scary guy that loves to yell and just intimidate people. But once I learned what that meant, it's intimidating, but it gets you to actually learn what you're trying to do. It's a good thing to have that type of person around you, because then you won't slack on your game, or then you won't say, I can do this later. It makes you want to do things right now and get your game better.
We had just come off being in the state title game, and I remember Juke was a 7th grader and wanted to come check out the school, and his middle school counselor wanted to see him come to Salpointe for the school and the atmosphere and the community that we've got, and then our basketball program. And I mean, just from the very beginning, engaging and charismatic, and just a really impressive personality.
He's kind, generous, and that smile is 24/7. It doesn't matter if he's playing basketball, walking to class, talking to kids at lunch.
It's just his personality, and it may be because of his background, where he wants to know people and he wants to get to know them.
Just being at that school is just like a community. It's a great place to be at. You don't have to think about, for example, what's going on out there. You just focus on what's going on in the school, and that's just why I love Salpointe, just because it's a family place to be at.
He's still new to the game, where a lot of these guys have been playing since they were 7, 8 years old or younger, and he came to the United States in 2010, and he's still learning the game, playing with 4 other guys, and yet the learning curve has been tremendous, just from his freshman to his sophomore year. That he's turned it into a 2010 guy as a sophomore, and we're thrilled, and I don't see that changing.
He just makes my life so much easier, because there's some plays where I can just lob it up and I'm like, Majuke's gonna get it, and it's 2 points or a dunk, So just playing with him made all of our lives that much easier.
The mental game you had to have is something that you gotta know, and trusting people you're playing with, and also having fun with the game. Don't be anxious about doing something or not doing something right.
He liked to win. He liked to win basketball in a team. And he liked their team to win when it's a winner. So that is to be happy.
The college coaches that watch him play, and the motor that he has, and the level of passion that he always shows for the game, they know he's going to milk every piece of potential that he's got.
From what you see now, by the time he becomes a senior, I don't want to say I'm afraid to see it, but you're going to see a totally different player from even the kid that you see right now. I think those are the reasons why those offers are already here, though.
Has Juke even really scratched the surface of what kind of player he'll be by the time he's a senior?
No, not at all. I think his potential is in the sky, and being his teammate and seeing him grow since his freshman year, he's not even close to where he's going to be in the future, which is why I'm so confident. And all these schools that are offering him and all the love he's getting, I know that they're not making a mistake, because I see the work ethic that he has and what he's willing to put into it. And, he's just going to keep getting better from here on out.
I went up to Phoenix on a Sunday. It was a showcase. I played, and I went 10 for 11 on the three-point line.
Jeez.
And then all of a sudden, next morning, Monday, I don't remember the exact date, but this was before my high school season started. San Francisco called, and it was basically like a surprise. Tell Juke that we've officially offered him a scholarship, and this is where I just started looking at the colleges. Like, is this where I have to go before basically I meet with Walding ever again? Coach Miller called me into the office. We went in, he showed us around the gym, and right when we went to his office, he just sat down and said, Juke, we've always had these meetings, but this one is a special one. Your mom is here, your coach is here. We just want to tell you that Arizona is a place where we need national championships. We want to play in that big stage, and I've been watching you for the past 2 years, and I've seen a lot of improvements in you, and I feel like you can help this school be at that stage. It's been a while that a kid from Tucson has gotten a scholarship from U of A, a full-ride scholarship to play basketball and go to school there. It just means a lot to me also. It's something I've been waiting for. This is my backyard, and I've been playing here, and seeing Coach Miller come to my games, it just means a lot just for me and the city of Tucson.
Jackson can inbound and be the trailer, run track first. Defensively, good stuff. Just don't need to reach, don't need to gamble, keep it in front, and force jumper. Good things happen.
I feel like your season can be a complete success in every possible way, and then facing disappointment like most teams do with their season ending with a loss. But for him, the crowd, the arena, I know it'll be one of the bigger games he's played in thus far, and that's only going to serve him well down the road.
You have to take it day by day, step by step, and to learn how to play in that big stage. And I feel like I learned a lot about my weaknesses and what to work on this summer, this off season. So I really need to get to that right away.
He'll have been a varsity player now. This will be his third year on varsity, and a lot of seniors don't spend 3 years on varsity. So he'll have just as much experience as anybody, and he'll certainly be a leader that we count on. And with his charisma and passion, I mean, you can't help but get excited for the direction that he'll take it. And a common saying is you go as far as your seniors, but you've got to feel like Juke Dang's a senior already.
My grandma, she's a really, really big part of my career. Her name being on my shoes is a big deal for me, because when I see her name, then it just makes me want to work even harder, just give it my all, and let her know that, Grandma, I'm paying this all back for you.
The moment can never be too big for him. I think he's a very humble kid. All this is just kind of topping on top of what already is a blessing for him to be here and have all these opportunities.
I pray to God every night. I hope I see my dad before anything happens. I hope he gets to be a part of my journey that I'm trying to build. I think of him a lot because I want him to see me. Sometimes I feel like when he was in this position that I'm in right now, I feel like he was a really hard worker. I don't really know much about him, but man, I just feel like he's like me.
I compare him to Nelson Mandela sincerely, that people constantly say that they met him or they crossed paths with him and that his smile changed them, or they had a conversation and they couldn't believe the way that I would say he treats every day like a gift, like the gift that it is, and he cherishes everything that comes his way, every opportunity.
At the end of the day, I do it for my grandma, for my family, for the guys I play with at Salpointe. That's a special team we have right there, and I just do it just because it's a fun game also, and it might bring something special to my family.